Dance is just, Dance is obviously a form of art which is both beautiful and entertaining to watch. However, the question always arises as to whether dance is a sport or not. Here are some reasons to why competitive dance is better categorized as a sport than an art. My first point is that dance is just as physically demanding as any other sport. First, I will be defining the definition of a sport according to Oxford dictionaries. A sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against one another or others for entertainment. Adding on, dancers need the same skills and have the same responsibilities as other athletes. According to Merriam-Webster, an athlete is a person who is trained or skilled in exercises, sports, or games requiring physical strength, agility, or stamina. Soccer players train in order to run for long periods of time. Swimmers train in order to do multiple laps without getting winded. The same thing goes for dancers, that they need to train in order to dance for those long periods of time for their performances. They train and condition consistently in order to maintain their bodies for this. In an article written by Emily Twitchett titled Physiological Fitness and Professional Classical Ballet, she compares the bodies of professional ballet dancers and professional athletes, and to sum up in her article, she says dancers tended to have more aerobic capacity, higher muscular endurance because of their ability to jump very high, a higher endurance for spending longer periods of time working their muscles, higher flexibility, and better agility. Dancers compete everywhere and anywhere in a variety of different skills, which leads me on to my second point, that there is competition among other dancers. A regional competition, which is the USA Dance Nationals, is more locally, and this is hosted by the United Spirit Association. On their website, they stated nearly 2,000 competitors and nearly 4,000 spectators are expected over the fun-filled and exciting weekend, vying for the champion title in one of over 55 different divisions. A sport wouldn't be a sport without a cheering section of fans, and at these competitions you can find many other dancers or supporters going to support their fellow dancers and encouraging them to win the ultimate title. A more broader competition is a Starbound National Dance Competition. This competition is national and a higher rank than regional competitions, and on their website they stated Starbound utilizes adjudicated scoring system which allows the judges to provide performers with a score along with other critiques. Much like gymnastics and figure skating in the Olympics, these dancers are scored on technique and execution. The judges then use these scores to determine who is the best of the best in the nation and give those dancers the title of the national best. These competitions are in a way similar to the Super Bowl, playoffs, or in World Series in that these competitive dancers train in order to go into these very big games, and so many people watch these games, much like so many people go attend these competitions in order to encourage their teams. My third point is that dance is an art because of its capability to connect to its audience on a personal level. Competitive dancers specifically use emotion in order to captivate their judges to score higher in that category. In an article written by Madison Lindenham, Dance is Not a Sport, she states that dance is physical exertion and skill that is capable of tapping into an audience's emotions to make them feel a specific way. That's art, plain and simple. Although competitive dance does have the emotional aspect that many other sports don't have, its physical, technical, and competitive values override this point. Therefore, competitive dance is better categorized as a sport than an art.
Right. Well, the proposition, I think, is clearly identified. I think you've got some criteria in here with the definitions that you're using to justify the position that you're taking. I heard a good variety of evidence supporting your points, and you were consistent about citing sources on that. So you're doing solid things there. I didn't really hear much of a preview at the beginning of the speech. In fact, I didn't notice a preview at all. It was a little bit confusing because there's a presupposition that there's a controversy on this, and I don't know why there is a controversy on this. Who denies that dance is a sport? Who suggests that it should be evaluated that way? Does anybody belittle or challenge that status? Is dance competition seeking approval of some organized sporting agency like the Olympics or the NCAA, for instance? If that was the case, then I could see a need for this particular argument. So I think you need to develop a little bit more of the controversy. I think that's kind of what you're trying to do with the third point, although your third point seems to be contradicting the position that you're taking in the first and second points. It may have been that you were trying to put this in as a rebuttal issue to address, but that, I think the way you phrased it and the fact that you turned it into one of your supporting points instead of a rebuttal point, it's merely just a contradictory issue, and it's confusing as it's presented there. The third point, by the way, was the only one that I thought was clearly signposted in the body of the speech. The other ones, I can generally tell the ideas that you're presenting. You do a good job, like I said, citing the evidence as you're getting those individual points, but I couldn't pick out claims, and there's no numerical signpost that tells me what those main points are. So if I'm a casual listener, I'm going to get lost on this information. Like I said, on the supporting information, I thought you did a pretty good job offering a variety of data. You explained what the criteria is, and you assume that the definition is going to be sufficient to justify your conclusion. I think it's a pretty good start, but once again, if there was some reason why we were having that argument, I think it would work a little bit better. All right, thank you.